Let's jump right into this explainer. So you've just moved to, or maybe within, the Granite State. First off, congratulations. But between unpacking mountains of boxes and setting up your Wi-Fi, there's that one bureaucratic hurdle we all dread, updating your driver's license. Today we're unpacking New Hampshire's, let's say, very unique address change process. Stick with me because I'm going to save you from surprise legal fines, rejected paperwork, and totally wasted trips to the DMV.
Now I know exactly what you're thinking. Seriously, it's the very first assumption everyone makes these days. You're wondering, can I just hop onto the DMV website, type in my new street name, click submit, and call it a day? I mean, it's the digital age, right? We literally do our banking and file our taxes online, so surely updating an address is just a quick 5-minute web form. Well, no. Actually, absolutely not. And I want to be as crystal clear as possible right out of the gate to shatter this myth. Under the current rules of the New Hampshire Department of Safety, it is 100% impossible to update your residential or mailing address on a driver's license online. Zero exceptions. The digital barrier here is absolute.
But wait, before you roll your eyes at the bureaucracy of it all, this lack of convenience is actually a massive cybersecurity feature. Really. The state is constantly battling sophisticated phishing campaigns. You know those super sketchy SMS text messages you get claiming your package is delayed? Yeah. They're trying to harvest your data. By forcing you offline and demanding that any change to your legal residence happens through physical, validated channels, New Hampshire is actively blocking remote identity hijacking. Essentially, scammers can't hack your DMV profile from a basement halfway across the world if the state physically doesn't let anyone do it online. It's kind of brilliant.
Okay, so if we can't do it online, how do we actually get this done? Well, here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the great online myth, the ticking clock mandate, 3 authorized physical channels, conquering Form DSM-30, the town clerk 2-step, and finally, the 60-day waiting game.
Let's start with Section 1, the great online myth. Seriously, don't get fooled by overlapping portals.
Here's where people get tripped up. Some digital systems do exist in New Hampshire. You can renew a license online if absolutely nothing has changed, or even update your voter registration. So folks naturally assume they've updated their DMV address when, legally, they haven't. And this leads right into the biggest trap of all, the Postal Service fallacy. You go to the USPS website, pay that $10 fee, and forward your mail. Done, right? Nope. The USPS does not talk to the New Hampshire DMV. That mail forward only reroutes your physical envelopes. It absolutely does not fulfill your legal obligation to tell the state where you actually live.
Moving on to Section 2, the ticking clock mandate, focusing on statutory deadlines.
Look, moving is incredibly stressful, but the state doesn't give you unlimited time to get your administrative life in order. There are strict, legally enforced timelines here, and missing them is literally a violation of state law. The key is knowing which ticking clock you're actually on. If you're an intrastate mover, meaning you already live in New Hampshire and just moved to a new place within the state, you fall under RSA 2639. You have exactly 30 days to notify the DMV in writing. Just 30 days. Now, if you are moving to New Hampshire from out of state, you get a little more breathing room, a 60-day window to transfer your out-of-state license and establish residency. All right, Section 3, 3 authorized physical channels. This is about actually getting it done. Since we've established you can't just click a button online, the DMV has set up 3 authorized physical pathways to submit your paperwork. The first, good old-fashioned USPS postal mail, sent straight to their central processing office in Concord. The second, which is honestly usually the most convenient, is dropping it off at one of the secure DMV Dropbox locations scattered across the state. And the third is an in-person appointment. But, and this is a big but, DMV desk services are strictly reservation only right now. Honestly, for a standard address change, you don't even need an appointment. You really only want to go in person if you're bundling this with something complicated, like a legal name change or upgrading to a real ID. That brings us to Section 4, conquering Form DSM-V30, also known as the Record Change Request. For most of you opting for the mail or Dropbox route, this form right here is the ultimate administrative boss battle. Behold the Record Change Request. Now, yes, you can download the PDF online, but you have to physically print the thing out. Don't even try using an electronic signature. They are totally invalid for this. You've got to write down your old info, your new legal and mailing addresses, and then give it a real wet ink signature at the bottom. By signing, you're swearing under penalty of law that everything is accurate. Oh, and this is crucial. If you're mailing it or using a Dropbox, you literally have to staple a photocopy of the front of your current New Hampshire driver's license to the form.
If you happen to lose your license during the move, well, you can't use the standard workflow. You'd have to apply for a duplicate credential instead.
Okay, let's talk cash because the state legislature recently changed this up. You actually have two choices when submitting that form. If you just want to update the state database, to check that 30-day legal box and make sure your DMV mail finds you, it is completely free, $0. You just keep carrying your old physical card. But if you want a shiny new piece of plastic in your wallet with your new address printed right on it, that's going to cost you. Thanks to the new Chapter 141 fee structure that kicked in for 2026, a reprint is now $10. Just a heads up, since it used to be only $3. Now for Section 5, the Town Clerk two-step. Let's talk about vehicle registration. Okay, so your driver's license is sorted. Phew. But what about that car sitting in your driveway? New Hampshire has a totally unique dual-level process for vehicle registration. Because towns rely so heavily on local vehicle permit taxes to fund things, you have to do this in a very specific order. Step 1 is the municipal stage. You literally have to go down to your local town or city clerk's office. Bring your current registration, your photo ID, and rock-solid proof of your new address, like a signed lease or a utility bill. The clerk calculates your local tax based on your car's age and original retail price. You pay the town first. Only then can you move to Step 2, the state stage. You take the freshly stamped paperwork from the town clerk, fill out an RDMV 110 form, and send it to the state DMV with a $20 fee. Only then do you get your fully updated registration certificates. It's a two-step dance every single time. Moving to our final step, Section 6, the 60-day waiting game, covering turnaround and delivery. So, you've successfully dropped your paperwork in the box or handed it to a clerk. What now? Well, 60 is the magic number. The state DMV needs a processing window of up to 60 days to manufacture your new, secure plastic credential in Concord and mail it out to you. Now, if you opted for the free database update and kept your old card, you're good to go. Just keep driving. But if you actually went to an in-person appointment and handed over your old card to get a new one, they'll give you a temporary paper license. Do not lose that paper. It is your legal authorization to drive, and it is valid for exactly 60 days. If day 61 rolls around and your mailbox is still empty, well, it's time to call the driver licensing division to see what went wrong. So that leaves us with one final thought. Look, it's undeniably frustrating in an era where we want everything instantly to have to download a PDF, hunt down a pen, photocopy your ID, and drop it in the physical mail just to change where you live. But when you look at the absolute explosion of data breaches, identity theft, and remote phishing scams, it really makes you wonder, is the clunky analog friction of New Hampshire's DMV actually a frustrating burden? Or is it basically the ultimate rock-solid defense protecting your digital identity? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and seriously, good luck with the rest of your move.